Recently, I was in the market for buying a used Mercedes. The wife was looking for a new car and an upgrade, but we didn't want to break the bank. We wanted something that was new or fairly new, had some warranty, could satisfy driving in the winter conditions, so it had to have all-wheel drive, but we wanted the three-pointed star brand. Now, there's lots of choices, but you got to be careful with what you're buying because there's obviously pitfalls with some of them, and there's some others that might suit your needs a little better. And I want to share with you 5 of some of the best Mercedes on the list that we were looking at and considering that are relatively affordable. So I can't help but share this list with you guys if you're on a strapped budget and you just want to find yourself moderately priced Mercedes Benz. Let's get into it now. So the first car on our list starts around 43 grand. You can get them in a coupe, sedan, or cabriolet, and it's the C-Class right behind me here, like in blue. Now these are beautiful and I love that color, can't go wrong with it. Now as you can see, it's got a very, very bold front end and front end styling, and that's something what I like in this new C-Class Benz. Very bold, the big three-pointed star. With these, of course, you've got LED lights, you've got alloy wheels that are very striking, the 5-star, you don't have those turbine wheels. Very nice, you've got LED lights here. These also have some of the nicest interiors in modern Mercedes as well. And as well, if you circle around, you'll notice they have some great shape and contour to them. Obviously a bit of a curve, not of the Mercedes of old where it was all squared and boxy. These actually have some style to them. C300, that means it's the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it makes about 240 horsepower. As you can see, you've got these beautiful exhaust tips, doubled up, and as well 4MATIC. Now it's very important, you do pay a little bit extra, but that just means it gives you all-wheel drive. And the beauty with the all-wheel drive, not only can you drive it in the summertime, but you can enjoy it in snow and icy conditions. As well with that, because you can get it in a sedan, you have the flexibility of the 4 doors and you've got 3 seats in the back, or you can get the coupe, which is the 2-door, which is actually what I ended up buying. I bought the coupe. If you saw last video, you'll definitely want to check that out. But you can also get this in a cabriolet, so it's a coupe essentially with the chopped top. Great cars, lots of great options, and they don't break the bank. And the reason I recommend these is because brand new, they start around $43,000 US. But if you're smart and savvy, you can pick one of these up that's, say, a 2018, maybe get a 2-year-old model that has, say 20, 30,000 miles on it with CPO warranty on it, and you can buy one of those for half of what they were brand new. You can find these into $20 to $25,000 range. Represents a phenomenal value. Another car on my list is the car behind me. It's the CLA 250. Now, while sure you can get an AMG version of this, the CLA 45 makes it a variable little pocket rocket. This here comes with all-wheel drive, but it is essentially built on a front-wheel drive platform. And what's tucked under the hood of this little hot rod is a 208 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and that's strapped actually to a 7-speed automatic. Makes it very lively, sprightly, and fun to drive. And in a lot of ways, these are even more stylish than the C-Class that I showed you before. I've driven these cars. The ride is not quite as compliant as you find in the C-Class, and quite honestly, the ride's a little bit jagged in these cars, but still they're very sporty by their very nature. They're compact, the rear seating is a little tight to the head, but it does give you a very sporty look. Let's circle around. Of course, you've got this wonderful grille, and I really love these grills that you see in the CLA. You've got LED headlights there as well. A little bit more aggressive front finishing on these. Now, as we circle around, the CLA has a large glass roof panel, which makes it very nice for those sunny days. And as we cycle around, I told you about the rear finishing of this. These cars have a very curved look to them and makes them very, very nice and aggressive. They almost look like a mini CLS, but well, they're not, and they don't cost that kind of cash. But as you look, I love the taillight assembly. I think these are much sharper looking than you see in the C-Class. And then, of course, these newer ones have these little cutouts or these vents. And again, same as the C-Class, you'll find the dual exhaust tips. Those really are just finishing tips. Inside, you can actually see the actual muffler tips there. But it's a good overall look. Wonderful package. Now, looking inside of this car, it's not quite as nice as the C-Class. You'll find it's a little bit dressed down. Has a little bit more of a simplistic interior, but a new MSRP on one of these is only about 43 grand in the all-wheel drive format. But with all that said, it's still a little bit costly. So you can actually pick up a 17, 18, or a 19 with some CPO warranty as well for 20 to 25 grand. The CLA 250, seriously one of my favorite choices just from a standpoint of flexibility with the all-wheel drive and the overall design perspective. The next vehicle on my list is this one right here. It's the Mercedes GLA 250. And the GLA 250 is basically the same as the CLA 250. Here you have a sedan, and here you essentially have a little mini SUV or crossover. It essentially is driven by the same powertrain, has the same all-wheel drive system, the same turbocharged four-cylinder engine, makes the same 200 plus horsepower, but it gives you the added versatility with the hatch here. It gives you the extra space in the back. The interior is very, very much the same as it is in the CLA 250. But there are some different styling components, from mirrors, and the front dressing's a little different, obviously different wheels. But these have decent power, all-wheel drive, and make them very flexible. So not only is the GLA 250 sort of uniquely styled and very, very attractive, also comes in an AMG version, but for the cost-strapped individual who wants something that's versatile, but with the three-pointed star, these are great because these are very, very affordable. If you can get this in a slightly used 2018, maybe 2019, you can pick one up in the $20,000 range, and you can save yourself a pile of cash. But be sure to get that certified pre-owned warranty, because that's going to guarantee you're going to get a car that's not been in a collision, and as well it's going to ensure that you're going to get that warranty and some extra coverage that you wouldn't necessarily get if you're buying one off the street or from somebody on a private deal. So get the CPO warranty on a 1 or 2 year old model, and you can save yourself a pile of cash and drive yourself a very inexpensive Mercedes. Again, the only thing I would say is the ride quality is a little harsh with these ones. They feel a little bit more abrupt as they do on the CLA 250. They're a bit more of a rough ride than you get in the C-Class, and the interiors are a little bit dressed down, but again, they're very stylish from that perspective. Now let's take a look at a car that I also test drove, and I really have a fond spot in my heart. The only thing is, on a used car market, be sure that you're picking up a car that's been well serviced and well maintained, and it's the venerable E-Class. As we see here we have a sedan, and here we have the touring car, essentially a wagon, a station wagon, if you will. They're both great machines. These are both E400s, beautiful cars. You can also get AMG versions of these, but in this particular configuration, they're very, very affordable and attainable. Now, brand new, these start around $63,000. They're not inexpensive by any means, and that's in US funds. But if you look around and you find one that's about 3 years old, you can find these down in that $20,000 to $30,000 range. That's right, these have lost half of their original value, or more than half, in about a 3-year, 4-year time frame. So you can get a lot of Mercedes for the dollars. And let's face it, a lot of people believe that the only real Mercedes, the only cars that deserve the Mercedes star, are cars, maybe the E-Class, definitely the S-Class, and the G-Class are the only vehicles that some people truly believe, the purists that believe that those are the only real Mercedes. So stepping into an E-Class like this, you really are moving up into the mainstream Benz. This is essentially dressed up like a proper Mercedes. You've got alloy wheels, you've got beautiful tips on this case. The other one's a little bit dirty, but it's the same effect. You've got double tips. Again, you've got the wagon. But if you look around here, the interior on these are definitely dressed up. Look at the door panels, the leather finishing and touches in this car. There's no doubt in my mind that these are some of the best Mercedes available on the market. We came really, really close. Now, when we were shopping, we had come across an E400 Cabriolet. Essentially, it is the 2-door coupe version, but with the chopped top. And the only reason we sort of shied away from that car was we drove it. It drove really, really well. It was a beautiful car with low miles. But what turned us off after we found out that the car had a previous collision history, and we decided to walk away. But understand as well, they're not as cheap to repair and maintain as you'd find in a C-Class. And not only that, now you're getting to air ride suspension, so you've got other parts that can fail. It's a much, much better ride. There's no question. Going from a C-Class to an E-Class, the ride quality is leagues better. But be prepared for the additional repairs and maintenance that come with driving an E-Class Benz. These cars feature a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 engine that makes about 330 horsepower, and both of these cars are strapped to a 9-speed automatic transmission that help propel these along and always keep them in the power band. 4MATIC. Of course, we got the all-wheel drive system on both of these vehicles that gives you the sure-footed handling in ice. These are truly the creme de la creme of Benz. Probably your best bang for buck in terms of performance and value, as well as the Teutonic engineering that is known as Mercedes Benz. So I'm going to give you the fifth one that we were actually shopping for, and you might even be interested as well because it's quite affordable. For about $50,000 starting, you can now find them in that $20,000 to $25,000 range. And if you shop hard and you go to the dealer, they might hook you up with a CPO warranty. But that here is the GLC 300. It's essentially based on the C-Class Benz, which I showed you earlier, the C-Class sedan, essentially more or less the same vehicle. Of course, these come with all-wheel drive system, the 4MATIC. Obviously, totally different styling element. The vehicle sits higher. It doesn't really resemble a C-Class all that much, but it does have much of the same underpinnings. It has the turbocharged 4-cylinder engine of 2-liter displacement, making about 240 horsepower. Now with these vehicles, obviously, you got the LED headlights, you've got the giant 3-pointed star, fold-away mirrors. The interior is exactly the same as you'd find in a C-Class Benz as well. You've got the chrome door handles as well. And the added versatility, again, as I say, the hatchback allows you more room to drop the dog in there, the kids, all the goodies that you might need for a weekend away. Obviously, this one's equipped with a hitch, so you can haul small trailers around. Maybe you have a small utility trailer you might need to move around with something like this. That will work for you too. These vehicles come with the dual exhaust, obviously one there. So they've got the styling bits as well. And again, as I say, it's GLC 300, essentially based on the C300 sedan, which was the C-Class. Now, with these, just because you drive an SUV doesn't mean you can't have your cake and eat it too. Looking on the roof, you have the giant double glass panel. It opens at the front and just gives you extra light at the back. But this is an exceptional buy. Can be had for under 30 grand and can do everything you need with the 3-pointed star. So we were all so very, very impressed with all of these cars. It was very hard to make that decision. But when we saw the blue C300 Coupe, we knew that was the car we wanted because it was also matched up to a great white interior. So we had the car with the style, we had the performance we were looking for, all-wheel drive, and the price to boot. We also had the certified pre-owned warranty for peace of mind, and honestly, we did all of that by buying a 2018, and that's where we found the sweet spot. We saved a bunch of money from buying new, and we still had a car that looked, drove, felt, and sounded like new. So that was where we ended up buying it because these cars are so great. So any one of them would be a great choice, but that's where we settled in. Be sure to click on that link over there. That's going to tell you all about why used Mercedes Benz are so cheap. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you real soon, guys. See you then. Bye-bye.